Mondays with Mom, the podcast where my mom, Leah,
Hi, everyone.
and I, Joe, dive into her stories, experiences, and the lessons she's hoping I finally take to heart. My mom has always dreamed of turning her life into a book or a movie, and this podcast is our way of making that dream come true, and we have a fun time doing it. So, Mom, how are you doing this week?
Hi, my Joey.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too. Mondays are always fun now.
They are fun.
So, well, the latest is, as you know, this weekend I've been trying to pack up a storm because
That's one way to put it.
storm is one way to put it. If I show you pictures of what the house looks like, you'll realize it's more like, I don't know, Hurricane Leah,
Yeah.
a tornado. I don't know what's going on here because suddenly George, my husband, George, just for the
Yeah.
listeners,
Which there are many actually. It's not
of the many, and they were both Georges actually.
No.
Both husbands were
Both
Georges.
husbands were Georges.
Okay. And my sister's husband is George.
Some would say you have a type.
Some would say I have a name. So basically, he kind of sprung upon me. He was offered a cruise to Iceland and Norway at a really special price.
That's really exciting.
Yes, the kind of less exciting thing about it is I always expect Iceland and Norway to be kind of cold, except that currently it's like we're in the peak of summer.
That is true. When we're recording this, it is peak of summer.
So it's really, really exciting. It's kind of just been sprung on me last minute, though. I've got a few days to pack, and somehow I need to pack masses of winter clothes and
That's very
puffer
tragic.
jackets. I know. I've been told.
Middle of
I've been
summer
told this
to
is
now
like,
wear winter clothes.
and I've been told that my issues are sports brat issues at the moment, which
Well,
I do get because
look.
it is very exciting. I think Iceland.
Look, if those are your biggest issues right now, we're very blessed.
Yes. No, that's very true. And I think Iceland has always been like kind of this exotic place that's been on my bucket list.
It was very funny when you told me that you're going to Iceland, and that you told me in a message on WhatsApp.
I forgot that I told you in a message on WhatsApp.
And my first thought was that you're going to Iceland, the shop for the chain in the UK.
Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. Yes.
I didn't even question it. I thought I was about to message you back saying, "What are you going to get?
Oh,
What are
yes.
you going to buy me?"
So I was thinking about the cruise, and I mean, I've been on many cruises with George, considering he used to kind of promote cruises and sell them for a living. And it just really made me think of a funny story that I thought would be perfect to share today. I've told this story to other people, and I kind of don't think I've told you the story because I kind of thought you were too young for me to tell you the details of the story. So, I mean, it's not really bad, but maybe a tiny bit of PG involved in this. So I thought, now's the right time to come clean.
I'm looking forward to hearing it finally.
Okay, so on one of our many cruises, which I always used to, I remember, you and Tina were a lot younger, and I would constantly be telling George how tired I was because I was running around working and looking after my
We
children.
were a handful.
You were handfuls. You were like
We still are.
more than one handful, like 2 or 3 handfuls. You yourself made up about 5 handfuls, not to mention Tina. So
It
they
was
were.
all for the plot. Look at me now.
There you go. There you go. I mean, it all worked out really well.
In the end.
And so when I used to tell George things like that, which at other times I'll tell you the way he would react, but he would kind of say to me, well, we're going to go on this wonderful cruise, and then you're going to get a chance to relax. And cruises aren't always relaxing because there's a lot of
to run around.
Exactly.
Lots of excursions.
And you often need to wake up at a certain time and be off and exploring. And I do have FOMO.
And dinners at a certain time.
And dinners at a certain time, and you must kind of.
And go to the show that's here. It's a lot of things that are happening at once.
So even though it's fun, it's not necessarily, it's fun and it's a holiday, it's not necessarily always very relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a nice high-powered holiday where you get to see exciting things. So what he would do is when I would say to him, oh, I'm so excited, but I'm so tired, he'd say, well, you know what? We're going to do something special, you and I.
Ooh.
So one of the things that George and I did right in the beginning, it was something I had never done before George. I don't think I had ever gone somewhere because I was a physio myself and physios give massages or massage
Ooh.
body parts for people, not quite give massages like a masseuse, but they are often massaging parts of people's bodies.
Like a sports massage.
Yes, they are not very often on the receiving end of that. So George used to take me here and there, even when we were at home, every now and then, as a special treat to a massage place. And what he would arrange would be like a place where we could both get a massage next to each other, like two beds next to each other in a room. And it kind of would be cute because we'd be holding hands.
So romantic.
So on each massage bed, eventually, like you'd find you had a massage and your one shoulder was in spasm because you were supposed to be relaxing and now you had twisted it to hold someone's hand. But it was kind of cute and romantic.
Very romantic. Did he always reach out for your hand first, or did you reach out?
That's a good question. I suspect he did.
Oh,
I suspect
what a
he did,
guy.
just because I've got shoulder problems. So one of these many cruises, he actually told me that we were going to have this, like on one of the days, we were going to have this very nice, relaxing couples massage, but he said he was taking it one step further. So he arranged, and it was quite expensive. I remember I was horrified at the time because it must have been, early 2000s. And the price in dollars, if I remember clearly, was like close to $400
Wow.
for this one massage.
$400 is still a lot today.
Exactly. And so what this was called, it was called a couples razul.
A razul?
Yeah, it's spelled Razul.
Let me look it up. Because I have no idea what a razul is.
Yeah, let's educate me on what exactly a razul is, but I have an idea.
Side note, that Google's AI really tells you some weird things.
Yes, I'm used to Google's AI doing a thing.
What is a razul? A razul is a traditional Arabian cleansing ritual that uses mud, steam, and heat to relax your body, soothe your mind, and purify your skin. Huh.
Okay, so now
So basically, supposedly, it's supposed to relax you.
it's supposed to relax you, and as you
And
can see,
cleanse you.
it involves mud and a few other things. So when I say mud, it involves clay more than
Yes.
mud. So the way this couples razul worked is they took you to like a private, you went to the spa of the ship, and then they took you to this like private section where they explained to us what would happen. And this is the part that I would never tell you about at the time because it was PG. So the two of you,
perfect.
exactly. So the two of you are in this room. It's more than one. They kind of explain to you how you'll move from room to room. And the way the process begins is that you start
Like
off.
an escape room.
Well, you'll find out. It was a bit like an escape room. But so you go in, and your first step is you get given salt. So the two of you, the therapist leaves you with salt and leaves you with clay and explains to you that this whole room, the way it works, and all these chambers are kind of automated.
Wait, so you're paying $400 for not even a human?
Well, not even a human, but what would happen is you go through this whole experience. So the first experience is you kind of you get naked, the two of you, and you're in private, and you rub salt on each other to exfoliate. You then go
Get well seasoned.
You get well seasoned. You go to the next section where what you do is you rub this mud clay on yourself, and then automated after a period of time, steam comes out, and apparently you steam yourself up with the clay on you. It opens the pores and relaxes it. And then I think about 15 or 20 minutes later, water starts coming down. It showers you off. The mud is cleansed off you. You feel amazing. And then the therapist very discreetly kind of knocks so that you can be ready, and they come collect you, and it ends with like this awesome couples massage.
Okay.
So it sounded kind of fun. Yes.
Very relaxing.
It sounded relaxing and fun. So I was quite excited to do this, and it kind of lasts, I think, the whole experience, because your massage alone in the end is about 90 minutes.
Okay, so a bit of not a bit of like a full-on massage.
So yeah, it's a full-on full body massage, and at the same time, you've actually got this whole experience beforehand. So I think the whole thing together was like 2.5 hours.
Wow, okay.
So it's quite a thing.
Get your money's worth.
There you go. And so, boy, did I get my money's worth, or George got his money's worth. So the way this worked is the therapist explained it all. We were very excited. So there we did. We start the first part and we get naked. And this is like, oh, it's already getting very romantic. And they hadn't even turned on the steam and it was getting kind of steamy. And so you start, sorry, Joe, you're old enough now to hear this. And so we rub the salt on each other, which is kind of this, it's almost like the ones you get these days that you use for antiseptic. It's like this thick salt where part of it stays on you while you're rubbing it.
Okay.
And it exfoliates and kind of prepares your skin for the process. And it's a nice feeling. And you take turns. So you'll rub his back, he rubs your back, you rub, and then you kind of rub your own body as well, certain places, so you feel fully exfoliated and ready to receive the clay. Okay.
Receive.
Well, so we did that part and it was very nice. And we rinsed ourselves off. So now we were ready to do the clay part. And we start putting on the clay. And it's like weird. It's almost like, I think we looked like one of these people from a weird tribe because you put this clay everywhere, as in you put it on your face, you put it on your body, on your chest. So you cover yourself in clay. And our clay happened to be green. It was like this avocado, but slightly deeper, like a
not like Lumo green.
Not Lumo at all, like an olive green.
Like an earthy green.
Yes, like a very earthy green. So we put this thing all over ourselves and we knew that it's automated. And I mean, we were kind of trying to keep within a time frame.
Yeah.
But we didn't have exactly an exact time. It wasn't going according to a specific clock.
Yeah,
although,
you weren't like watching a time.
Yes, although what we knew would happen is that at some point after we had put the clay on ourselves, the steam would begin to come into the room and it becomes like it's a big room, so you don't feel asphyxiated like you do in a sauna.
Yeah, or a steam room. Or, you know, those like things that you see on Flintstones.
Yes, yes. But this is like apparently just enough steam so that the air is warm and it keeps the clay moist while it's drying so that it's kind of on your body and it opens up the pores. So we did this. And so George and I were waiting for the steam and our steam didn't come on. And at some point I was starting to notice, you know, when you put on a mask and every now and then in a certain place it starts to crack because it's getting dry.
Yeah.
And this shouldn't happen.
That's like the worst part of the mask process, where you just feel stuck in one facial expression to rule them all.
And so, so this was beginning to feel like this, and there was no steam, so there was no absorption. And so George and I get up, these two gray people. We looked like Avatar without those hot bodies that they had in Avatar, those people. So we looked like slightly chubbier green avatars. And we got up and we started investigating this room because it was a high-tech room and there were like these little panels on the wall. And we couldn't do anything to change any panel on the wall. So we waited and waited and waited and we waited around. And by then the romance had gone. We were both like starting to like practically fossilize. And we were looking and thinking like, what are we going to do? So I said to George, we kind of got to the door of this place and knocked on the door and said, hello, hello, our Razul's not working. Can anyone hear? There was silence. No one was hearing anything.
That's scary.
Yes. Thank goodness the door, I think, was locked from the inside.
Okay.
So that someone doesn't just walk in. So we unlocked the door and then stuck out a head and called, hello, hello, and tried to look down the passage. Now, this particular room, because it's private and it was the very last room down the passage of the spa. So it was kind of isolated and there was no one there. So I look at the situation and I said to George, well, something has to be done. And I came up with this plan. I thought, well, what we're going to do is we'll possibly we have to now get some staff member to come in. So we'll wrap up with towels. If the towels get messed, it's too bad now.
At that point.
Yeah. And so I thought, okay, we're going to wrap up with towels and then see if we can get the attention of some staff member. So I go to the towel section, which I hadn't checked, and they're exactly 2 towels, and you can't call them towels. They had forgotten to leave us towels or gowns. So what they had left us is a face cloth which I suspect was to get the last bit of the clay off when eventually, because after the steam, a shower would come on.
Okay.
And so you get all of this off, then you dry yourself, you get a nice fluffy gown, and you go for the massage. And so all they had left us was a face cloth and a hand towel. And so I look at this, and obviously, a guy's got less to cover. And I looked at this and I thought, okay, well, already this sorts it out. I'm not going out. There's no way I'm going outside to call a staff member in a hand towel. So what I decided, and this was, I made a kind of unilateral executive decision. I gave George the face cloth and I said, cover your private parts, which obviously he could cover the front. I took the hand towel, I backed myself onto a wall and held the hand towel like over the front of me, almost like a boob tube going down, but just holding it like long ways going down. And I pushed myself up against the wall because I thought, right, my behind will be against the wall so no one can see this. And my front part is covered from the boob down.
Wow.
And so I give George the face cloth and I said, you wanted this couple's massage to be relaxing. I said, go out and find someone because there's something wrong here. So George, with his little face towel, his face towel covering his private parts, holding it in front of him.
Like a little like a spa. I don't know what like a jungle. Like you know how like in the Jungle Book when Mowgli wears?
Like Tarzan.
Or like Tarzan, yeah.
But I think they even wear something at the back, I'm convinced.
I don't know, we've never seen them from the back.
Yeah, well, I could see George from the back, and it was really funny as he was going out. So he held this and he went outside and he called out, hello, hello. And then he couldn't see anyone. So he starts walking down the passage, hello, hello. And he can't even back up against, there's doors left and right. So he can't kind of keep his bum to a wall because the door could open at any time. And there was no one. He had to walk right the way down the passage and arrive at reception of the spa.
I would die.
And I think people must have thought it was the Incredible Hulk or Shrek gone wrong.
Shrek gone wrong, Shane.
Holding this thing and this green man coming out. It was, you do not understand. It was unbelievable. So eventually,
traumatized.
It was quite funny. I mean, he described, I didn't get to see that exact part. I can only imagine. But just to kind of explain to you how traumatic it must have been for the rest of the people there, immediately he came into the room with about 12 staff members. They were all apologizing profusely. Everyone was pressing buttons on the wall. Steam was coming out now. We were being showered at the same time. Everything was happening.
So funny.
And they gave us masses of towels and gowns. And in the end, this entire 400 was given to us free of charge.
Wow.
To apologize for the inconvenience.
And the trauma.
I don't know how the people in the reception were traumatized. I mean, my trauma, at least, I sat there, I still felt that I had maintained some dignity. The only problem is I was laughing so much that I kept thinking that as I bend over, someone might see the back of me because it was so funny. It was really, really hysterical.
So then in the end, did you have the actual massage?
We did. And I think if I remember clearly, we still even held hands. And the nice thing was that you could really relax knowing that you paid nothing for this massage. And they were making it like extra nice. They might have even taken an extra few minutes just to because they just didn't want us to write back a review of their top spa product.
Oh, yeah, that's what happens when you give it to robots.
It was really, really funny. Yes, that's when AI fails or your computer system. But then, I don't know where all the people went.
They're all probably on break.
Yeah, because they expected us to take 2.5 hours, or however long, which we would have if anything had ever come out.
That's crazy.
So that was really, really funny. And then I had do we have enough time for me to tell you?
Well,
okay, we've got
like 10 minutes.
Okay, we've got a little bit of time, so I can tell you that.
Another story?
Well, there are a few stories, but there is one other one that's very funny. Okay. That's short because obviously George and I were not meant to have massages. Because another funny story is at some point when he and I were in South Africa and he was running his company and he would often get these really awesome Christmas gifts.
Okay.
And he would obviously bring them all home and let me choose ones that I wanted. It would be like these awesome diaries, awesome pens, maybe a fantastic water bottle,
Really like up your alley.
Exactly. And I mean, some of them were typical male gifts that they'd give then, like a bottle of whiskey or a bottle of wine. But then there were always these really exciting gifts, and he would always let me choose. And one of the ones that I noticed that he had been given was a Thai couples massage.
Okay.
And I thought the person that gave it to George initially, I thought must really like him until we went for the massage. And I realized she obviously thought he's the worst boss ever and she's going to get him back.
Oh, the
Because
company gift.
it was
Oh,
an employee
employee.
gave him this gift. And I was so excited. And I mean, as I know from my resort experience, everything I know firstly about a massage is the first thing you do to get a massage is you get naked. You get given like a little G-string, one of these
Yeah.
like disposable G-strings that they give you when you go for surgery, which is a bit scary. But that's the way they usually do a massage.
Okay.
And so this was the first time I went for a massage, and I thought, well, is this a massage or is it a Karate Kid demonstration? Because they give you like a white outfit that it's as if you're going to go do some karate.
That's funny.
You wear like these pants
Yeah.
and a jacket with a belt. And
With a belt.
it had like a belt, mine. So I felt like, is it going to be like a karate session that they teach us moves?
Well, it can't be karate because karate mom is Japanese, obviously.
Okay, there you go. But it had a stick. So what do you call those martial art things?
I'm gonna be wrong, but my guess would be judo, but I don't know.
No, judo doesn't have a stick.
Are you sure?
Judo and karate are like kind of cousins.
All I know is that the stick is from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. One of them had a stick.
Okay, well, this would have been good if
Purple
George was
one.
green then and had the stick. Then he could have been a teenage mutant
I mean,
ninja turtle. But now we were
middle age.
a middle-aged mutant. Just let's take out the age.
No.
A mutant turtle. Mutant ninja turtle. So we arrived for this Thai massage. And one of the things that George would usually complain about is when we would often have our couples massage, which I didn't mention at the end, sometimes they would bring in a man and a woman to massage. And I would always tell George, well, I'm going to take the woman. I felt more comfortable. You have the man. And at some point, he had said to me, well, this is not quite fair or right. Why must I always be massaged by a man? No, you have the man, I have the woman. So this time, for this Thai massage,
You agreed to appease him.
I agreed to appease him. So I took the man and he would take the woman. But they put us together. And so we walk in and then they put us on the floor on these. And I'm thinking, okay, this is definitely going to be, I don't know, this is going to be a yoga session with a bit of Tai Chi and they haul out the sticks and we realize the sticks aren't for us, they're for them.
Oh.
And now I think it worked better for me in the end having a man because I think this guy felt sorry for me. Whereas the woman kind of felt that she's a woman and she was a small little petite woman. She's really got to give George a good massage. And I don't know, guys, if any of you have had a Thai massage, but they literally beat you to a pulp. You get the stick and they hit you with the stick and they whack you with the stick. And all you hear is cracking noises. And it's either the stick being whacked against your skin or it's your joints being cracked in these impossible directions where no person's joint should go. And halfway through, I mean, it was George was making me laugh because I would say, babes, we were like kind of next to each other, but I just needed, he would go silent every now and then. So I needed to check if he's still alive. So I would say, like, babes, are you okay? In Greek, obviously, so that the Thai people couldn't understand us. And he'd say, like, I'm in so much pain, I actually can't speak. And I was killing myself laughing.
Poor guy.
And I needed to check who that employee is. I actually forgot who hated George that much that they would give him a Thai massage. And a couple, I'm thinking, why is it my fault? Whatever George did to you, wasn't involved. I usually told him to be nice to his employees.
Was nice.
He was nice. I know. They all absolutely
can you
adored him.
Imagine having a boss that you'd want to give a gift to.
Listen, this guy was, for his employees, he literally was the best boss they could ever have.
Except for the person
who thought he was average to a bit bad and gave him a Thai massage. So maybe they didn't know.
Maybe they just saw that it was fancy.
So for any couples out there, if your man, I'm telling the woman now, if your man is really annoying you, take him for a couples Thai massage. I'm not going to say send him on his own because you need to enjoy watching him being beaten. So go for a couples massage and let them beat him to a pulp. I know. So
it will help your muscles, maybe.
Yeah, it will. It will, definitely. And maybe your marriage, like the next time he tries to do something wrong, you say, right, You either do what I want or we go for another Thai
Can
massage.
you imagine that's the threat?
So that's quite funny. I also have another very funny massage story, but I think that one takes a lot of time. So I'm going to leave the other one for another
We can have a
podcast
part two.
episode. We could have a part 2, or I could leave this for another time because it fits in with other stuff. You know, I don't want to spend our podcast where people just think we're being massaged from beginning to end. We might have we've got lots of other exciting stories to tell, but there is still.
It's a future part 2 then.
There's definitely a future part 2. There's like future part 5 with most of my stories, all of them.
I can't wait.
Yes. So I am really looking forward to this cruise, and I will not accept any couples massage because I will go in a room on my own.
And yeah, no automated massages if you do get one.
No automated, exactly, guys. And if anyone ever mentions the word Razul to you, you can sound all fancy and just pick your options carefully. Maybe just go for the regular full body, and you can rub some cream on yourself at home.
So I think the main lesson is make sure you have extra towels around before you get naked.
Exactly. Oh, yes. Before you take your clothes off, make sure that you've got extra towels. And what could be the other message is beware of anyone who offers you a full body massage.
Ooh, spooky.
Ooh, yes. And on that note, I'm going to run off and
carry on packing
my puffers and my winter woolies.
It's been fun.
It's been fun too, and I don't hope, I know for sure there's going to be some adventure I can come back with.
And, I can't wait.
And add the Iceland adventure to our podcast.
I'm so jealous that you're going. I hope you have the best time.
Thanks, my Joey.
Safe travels.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you guys again next week.
Sounds good to me.
Bye.
Be good. Bye.